He's the British actor and comedian known for his outlandish and at times controversial roles. But Sacha Baron Cohen wasn't joking around when he launched a scathing attack on the world's biggest social media giants.
Yeah, he's accused Facebook, YouTube, Twitter of allowing hateful content on their sites because apparently it's good for business.
Under this twisted logic, if Facebook were around in the 1930s, it would have allowed Hitler to post 30-second ads on his solution to the Jewish problem.
It's a 24-minute speech. That's only part of it, and it's quite compelling. To discuss this, we're joined by Nine's Honey's Shelly Horton and NRL legend Sam Thaidater. But Shelly, to you first. He has made some... It's a really interesting argument he's posing here. What do you think of it?
I think that we need more people speaking out like he is. I mean, I think Sacha is a very intelligent man, and the fact that he doesn't speak out often, when he does speak out and make a controversial statement like this, I think it has an impact. And we do need these social media companies to be accountable for what they're doing. We are seeing it happening. And they can't just say that, you know, we don't allow hate speech. Just look at Twitter. It's nothing but hate speech. So I think we actually need to catch up with the times and see that we need some new rules and regulations that don't have anonymous trolls on social media. You have to be accountable and have your identity, and don't have targeted advertising that is fake news. I mean, this is something that we need to stamp out because it can have a flow-on effect for decades.
Well, Sam, let's bring you in on this because Sacha Baron Cohen, he often uses prejudice in a lot of his jokes. Is he the right person to be making this point?
I think for a funny man, he is very, very intelligent. And to be honest, I can still remember when Facebook was all about catching up with friends, keeping in contact with those friends and watching cat videos. Now some of these social media networks are essentially selling their soul for advertising and different things like this. My phone's in my pocket right now. It's probably listening to me. I won't be able to log into any of my social media later on today, but I don't care.
Shelly, the interesting point he makes, I think, is good. He made this joke about when he was, I think, when he was Ali G, and he was speaking to Buzz Aldrin. He said, when I said to Buzz Aldrin as Ali G, I said to him, mate, what was it like walking on the sun? And everyone thought that's a funny joke because he walked on the moon. But when so many conspiracy theories are put out through social media about whether we even landed on the moon, or is you know, about the Russians interfering in the 2016 elections, this starts to have an effect on how we see ourselves. And if they're not, there's no policies in place and policed, then all of democracy starts to suffer, as we see it starts to happen in real time in front of our eyes. I
mean, when you get into the micro-targeting of advertising, if you have mentioned a single word in one of your posts and then all of a sudden that will, you know, bring more right-wing advertising to you and things like that you're not aware of, and some of them where they just look like stories, you don't even realise that it's advertising. I think we need a lot more transparency because a lot of people aren't as aware of how manipulated they're being, and until it's had a really profound effect on them.
I think he says as well, Sam, which is really interesting too, he says that if you give bigots and paedophiles the biggest social media in the world, they can then go and target or draw in as many people to their side as they want. That's alarming.
It is absolutely crazy, and I'm all for trying to police, these social media networks and making sure that everyone is safe out there and giving us a choice to make our own choices, not being force-fed all these different things.
Hey, well, let's move on to something else this morning. It's a little bit lighter. There's a new controversial list that has just been dropped, revealing some of the world's most iconic music acts that have never won a Grammy. Now, some of them include Queen, Jimi Hendrix, Bob Marley, Tupac,
Tupac,
Janis Joplin, and Diana Ross, to name a few. I mean,
come on,
they were
robbed. We need to do something about this. We need to campaign to have like a, oops, we got to do a catch-up Grammy. Maybe it just has to be, you know what?
Oops, we Grammy'd again.
Oops, we Grammy'd again.
What do you think about this, Sam?
Well, I can understand a little bit. Queen was a UK band. They weren't massive in America. They always had a bit of drama trying to make it big in the US. It's only of recent times that Queen have kind of come back into people's households with the movie Bohemian Rhapsody. I absolutely love him. I will put that out there. But I was more disappointed that Tupac didn't get a Grammy.
I know, right?
He'd be turning in his grave,
He
or
can come back
maybe
as a hologram.
maybe in his lounge chair in Mexico. You
Maybe.
never know.
Well, yes,
country,
because
yeah.
that's where
Is he even
Did
gone?
you read that on Facebook?
Is he? Thanks,
I
guys.
did.
Great to
I
have
got
your
that on
company this
Facebook.
morning.
Thank you.
And I do believe that Sam Thaiday has sung all of those songs in car
Oh,
karaoke,
absolutely.
true.
which you will see on his
Absolutely
social
fantastic.
media page. Thanks, Sam. All right, let's grab the news now with Jane.